everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today I have my May 2018 candle and wax empties to share with you. I hope you all had a fantastic May and are getting ready for summer. Let me know in the comments below what you burned and melted this month, especially if you had any standout favorites. I always love to hear from you. May was a good smelling month for me overall. My vendor wax theme at the beginning of May was sort of a green, grassy, earthy kind of theme, and then I moved into sort of fresh scents, fresh air, salty sea air, seaside kind of scents. And I really enjoyed it. As with all of my empties, I'm going to start with the random bits, my hand soaps, a little bit of body care, wallflowers, and then move into the wax melts and then into the candles. I will leave the timestamps below to the wax melts and the candles, so if you're only interested in a particular portion of the video, you can click on the timestamp and it will take you to that portion of the video. If you'd like to hear about what I burned, melted, and used this month, let's get started. 2 pocket bags this month. This one is Winter Candy Apple, and this is like from 2013. It's ridiculous. I have pocket bags in various locations, like 1 or 2 in my purse, in my car. I have a couple around my house, so I don't really use those as much. And I was doing some spring cleaning and I found this and I was like, why do I have this little bit of, like, it was just the smallest amount of hand sanitizer even left in here. So I made an effort to just go ahead and finish it up and use it. For what it's worth, 5 years after the fact, the scent was still there. I also finished this pocket back in Mermaid Life. This was pineapple and coconut. I really did like this one. The scent reminded me more of a body care-esque kind of pineapple and coconut versus like fresh and juicy or cocktail pineapple coconut. I finished this sort of travel size foaming bath in L'Occitane's Lavender. This one I absolutely love. I love L'Occitane's Lavender. If you've never purchased anything from them, they are a more upscale Bath & Body Works, more toward like Lush, but it's a lot of French inspired collection. It's definitely higher end, more expensive, but their products are really nice quality. This foaming bath actually has lavender essential oil in it. It is a very pure, perfect, smells exactly like the actual lavender plant. And what I love about this foaming bath is that the scent itself stays on my skin even after my bath. So really enjoyed this one. At some point, once I get through some more of my bath products, I would repurchase this one. It's just wonderful, very relaxing. I finished a Bathing Garden Scrub in Carnival Junkie. This one is like raspberry snow cone, lemonade, and cotton candy, I believe, or something very close to that. I really like the scent in a wax, but I did not care for it as much in the actual scrub. I love her scrubs. I will continue to purchase some, but I probably wouldn't repurchase this particular scent. We'll always repurchase her scrubs. I'm just a huge fan of them. They're very reasonably priced, very well done. I just didn't care for this particular scent. The last body care item I finished was this Beach Nights Summer Marshmallow Body Cream. I love this scent. I know a lot of people love it as well. It's just a very sweet vanilla marshmallow, but there is this sort of salty sea air accord. Really, really nice. I'm trying to make an effort to finish up my body creams. They're supposed to last 2 years is sort of the Bath & Body Works stance, or at least that was the stance not too long ago. But I'm finding that even body creams that are less than a year old are already turning that off smells. The ultra shade that they use in the creams doesn't last forever. And when it goes bad, it will have this kind of off-putting smell. If you've ever had it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It kind of smells a little bit like mildew, sort of. It's really disgusting, and nobody wants to put that on their body. At least I don't. And I'm just really sensitive to that smell. So like this one, even though I got this at the summer semi-annual sale last year, so it's not even a year old, it was already starting to get that smell towards the end of the tube. I could just kind of smell it just faintly. It wasn't super strong, so I was able to finish it. But once I get through my current body creams, I'm definitely not going to keep a supply on hand anymore. Like I normally have about 5 or 6 that I'll kind of rotate out, but I'm going to try to just use what I have and just maybe buy one and finish it and then move on, because they're just not lasting, unfortunately. I do love the scent. I would repurchase it in the shower gel and the lotion, but I wouldn't get the cream again. I finished 4 hand soaps this month. The first one I finished was Spring Garden. This is my kitchen soap for the month, and this is Wild Mint, Peppermint, and Morning Dew. You do get a little bit of like a green note, but it's mostly mint. It's very refreshing. I like it. I'm going to have my eyes peeled for this one during semi-annual sale and hope I can find a couple more. My partner finished the Aromatherapy Comfort, which is vanilla and patchouli. This is a very, very earthy scent. I love the brown packaging that they brought out with this line initially. Now they've changed it to sort of just a see-through clear packaging. I don't think is as pretty. I like this sort of old-timey apothecary kind of look to it, but the scent was nice and it definitely stayed on your hands. I finished this Nourishing Hand Soap in Strawberries and Cream. This actually smells like Mr. Bubbles to me, the pink bubble bath that you would use for like a kid or something. That's what it reminds me of. It's definitely not an authentic strawberry at all, but it's, you know, sort of artificial, but I still really like it. It smells good. This one also had like a nice strong scent to it, and I really enjoyed it. And the last hand soap that we finished was Raspberry Rosé, or I should say my grandmother finished. She stayed with me about 3 weeks in May, and so she really went through this soap. She really liked it. This scent is fantastic. It's a fruity, sweet scent, but there's also a little bit of tartness to it. It's really nice. I hope they bring it back again. I used the Bath & Body Works Scent Portable and Suntan. I actually have this in my car now, and it's been in my car about a week and a half. I went to the beach for a while, and it was just the perfect scent to have in my car. The scent does smell a bit more feminine in the car than it does like in the candle, where it smells like this really authentic sunscreen, but nonetheless I still really liked it. Of course they start off really strong and they kind of dissipate over time, but even now I can still smell it. Like I'm sitting there driving and I'll get like wafts of the scent, so I like this one. It's done well so far. I did use some wallflowers this month. I put in avocado coconut. I can't really smell this one thus far. Now I do have this one in a bit of a larger space, but so far I'm not having the greatest luck with it. I put in Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit. Now this one I'm having fantastic luck with. It is really strong and fruity and yummy. I put coconut colada in my kitchen. I'm having really great luck with this one as well. I actually like the scent in the wallflower a lot more than I do the candle. I actually took the candle back, but the wallflower kind of retains that banana smell that I really like in this. I put Blue Ocean Waves in my master bathroom, and I'm not having the best luck with this one either. Normally the wallflowers in there, I can smell it all in my master bathroom, but I'm not really getting much from this one so far. And the last wallflower I put in was At the Beach. I absolutely love the scent in body care. It's fantastic. It exactly reminds me of going to the beach. And I really wanted this to be just strong and just filling my space, and unfortunately I'm not getting much from this one either. I'm going to move it to a different location to see if that helps. I'm also finding that this isn't exactly the same scent as the body care. There's some differences between the wallflower and the body care. Alright, that is all of the random bits. I'm going to move right on into the wax melts. Like I mentioned in the intro, I did start out with a green and grassy theme for May, and then I moved into sort of fresh air, fresh type scents at the end of May. But I was also finishing up some strawberry from the previous month. And the first melt that I finished this month was Destination Wax Strawberry. This one is a very creamy, sweet strawberry, really yummy. I really love this one to use as a blender scent. The strength and throw of this one was about a 7 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. This one I will definitely continue to repurchase. I love it on its own, or like I mentioned, to blend it with other things. Really nice. I finished Destination Wax Cucumber Mint. If you watched my empties for a while, you've seen this one before. This one is a watery cucumber, mint, and a little bit of a floral note. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I'm finding that I've kind of grown away from this scent a little bit more and moved into really loving Cucumber Blossom a bit more, so I probably wouldn't repurchase this one anytime soon. Speaking of Cucumber Blossom, I finished this Cucumber Blossom. Love this scent. It's such an authentic, watery, crisp green cucumber. It is just perfect, especially if you love green, watery type scents. I think that you would absolutely love this one. It really does smell like a fresh picked cucumber from the garden, and you've just bitten into it. It's just perfect. This one's also really strong. The strength and throw is about an 8.5 for half of the scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I found this is also a great blender scent. I like to mix this one with strawberry or some other kind of fruity scent. It is wonderful. Definitely a repurchase for me. In fact, I've already repurchased it. I finished this scent shot in Hayden Rose Spring Greens. This one is melon, lemon, a little bit of floral, of course green vibes, and somewhat kind of has a fresh vibe as well. A very interesting scent. I did really enjoy it. The strength and throw is about a 7.5 for half a scent shot in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. It lasted about 6 to 7 hours. I would repurchase this scent. I finished this Country Lane Keepsakes Fresh Picked Strawberries. It was a sweet candied strawberry scent. It's very sort of typical that you find from a lot of vendors. I just wasn't impressed with this at all. I put it in, it was a little strawberry. It was really cute, but I could not smell it whatsoever in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I mean, even when I put my nose to the dish, I really couldn't smell it, so I would not repurchase this and couldn't recommend it. I finished this 2-pack Destination Wax Fresh Dirt and New Mown Grass. Essentially, it is what it says. It is dirt and grass. You get the damp, dark garden soil and sort of that green, a little bit sweet grass note. Really perfect combination. You get both of them. One doesn't overtake the other. You kind of get this new mown lawn, fresh yard kind of scent. It's absolutely fabulous, perfect for spring, and I really, really enjoy it. The strength and throw is about a 7.5, 8 for 1 cube in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. If you like these types of scents, especially if you like a dirt scent, we don't really get to see many of those, I recommend this one. I finished this scent shot in 2 Chics and a Wick Sweet Caroline. It's Satsuma Strawberry. I actually have never purchased from this vendor. I got this in a giveaway that I participated in a wax group that I'm in on Facebook called the Melt Gala. I'll leave the link to the group below. If you've been looking for a good vendor wax group, I definitely recommend the Melt Gala. The admins of the group are just so sweet and gracious and nice, and they really do keep things going. I've just found that it's sort of my go-to vendor wax group. One of my favorite parts of the group is that they do keep a post of all the upcoming restocks. So, you know, if you're into vendor wax, you know how it can be like, is there a restock this weekend? Is who's selling what? When is this vendor opening? And it can just be a lot to keep up with. They have a file where they add all of the different openings and restocks. So if I ever want to know, hey, I feel like shopping, or I feel like I need some vendor wax or whatever, I can just go to that listing and see which vendor is having a restock this weekend or today or whenever. So it's just really nice. Highly recommend the group. I'll leave a link below. Back to this wax. This was Sweet Caroline. This scent is something that you see in a lot of different vendors. Very, very strong Satsuma. Just a slightly creamy strawberry, but mostly I got the Satsuma. I did enjoy it. The strength and throw was about a 7.5 for half of the scent shot in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. Based on the performance of this, I would consider ordering from this vendor. I finished 1 Easy Melt cup this month in Happy Spring. You've seen this one in my empties before. Very earthy, floral, tulips, dirt. Really great spring scent. Really enjoy it. The strength and throw is about a 5 for the first rotation, which I think is 9 hours in my centerpiece. And then the second rotation, it definitely dropped down to about a 3.5 or so. So this one's not incredibly strong, but I can smell it, and I do like this enough that I would repurchase it. I finished a 2-pack shape in Zeep's Vesuvius. This is pineapple, mango, citrus, and fresh greens. It is Capri Blue Volcano scent, the Anthropology scent. Fruity, citrus, sort of clean, really nice scent. If you like that scent from Anthropology, this is a really great dupe. The strength and throw is about a 7.5. These were 2 flower shapes, and I cut them in 4th, so about a 4th of the flower shape in my 24-watt or 20-watt hot plate warmer. Had great strength and throw, and they lasted about 6 to 8 hours. I did enjoy the scent, and I did enjoy the performance of this one as well. So I would repurchase this if she brought this scent back in the future. I finished a 4-pack of Destination Wax Strawberry Jam. This one is a jammy strawberry. Somewhat has a little bit of like a waxy chapstick kind of vibe, just a little bit, but I still like it. The strength and throw of this one's about a 6.5 for 1 cube in my 24 hot plate warmer. I do like this one as well. On its own, I prefer strawberry or her strawberry seeds, but I do like this one for mixing with different things. It is a good blender scent as well. So if you like that little bit more jammy, maybe a little extra sweetness, then I think you'd like this one. I finished fresh lettuce from Destination Wax, crisp, fresh green scent, just a hint of water. It is fantastic. If you like green scents, you'll like this one. This one's definitely different than cucumber. The cucumber has that very authentic kind of cucumber, and it's a lot more watery. This one is a lot more crisp than cucumber. It is just fantastic on its own. It's also really strong. It's 8.5 for 1 cube in my 24 hot plate warmer. It's a really good blender scent as well. She has pear salad that she mixes this with her red pear, and it's fantastic. One of my favorite scents. I also like to mix this one with strawberry. It's just really, really good. This is an absolute repurchase for me. I finished a clamshell in Super Tarts Cranky Kitty. This is her mouse ears, ice lemonade, sweet lollipop scent mixed with green grass. The mouse ears is a strong tart lemonade, and then you mix that with green grass, which sounds a little bit odd, but it actually really works. The green grass just sort of adds this subtle sweetness to the blend, and it really kind of dials down some of that like tart, almost astringent mouse ears lemonade. I did enjoy this one, but I probably wouldn't repurchase it. The strength and throw is about an 8.5 for 1 cube. It lasted about 7 to 8 hours in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. If you're a fan of the mouse ear scents, I think of course you'd like this one. And again, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a super favorite, so I wouldn't repurchase it. I finished a clam in Super Tarts Lucky Lemons. This is her lemon curd mixed with her Lucky Charms Magically Delicious I've heard so many good things about this one. People rave about it. They just buy huge quantities of it. But I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. I just don't think it was something super special. A lot of vendors have very similar scents to this, where they have lemon curd mixed with something creamy and sweet. So it wasn't like, wow, I feel like I can only get this from Super Tarts. The strength and throw was about a 5 to a 6 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer and in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. Like, I thought it would be a lot stronger in my 20 watt hot plate warmer because it normally is, but it really didn't get any stronger. It was okay, it was fine, but I just wouldn't repurchase it. I finished Destination Wax Meyer Lemon Salsa. This one I absolutely loved. It is the sweet lemon mixed with like a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of kiwi. It really does smell like a kind of chopped up fruit salad. Definitely more lemon, but you do pick up those other notes. They do come through and add like an additional sweetness. It's really, really yummy. The strength and throw was about a 6 for 1 cube in my 24 hot plate warmer. This one is on my repurchase list. I finished a 2-pack of Destination Wax ginger ale. Cold, bubbly, perfect amount of effervescence ginger ale. It is amazing by itself, or it's really nice blended with something else as well. It's not a fizzy pop dupe. It's not just like a generic soda dupe. It's not just a generic kind of effervescent scent. It really does smell like ginger ale. It's fantastic. It's also very strong. The strength and throw is about an 8 for 1 cube in my 24 hot plate warmer. It's really good mixed with like strawberry. I think it would also be good with mixed with like cherry or even like other kinds of red fruit or blackberry. I think those would all be really great things to mix with this one. I love it. I've already repurchased this one and I want to continue to repurchase it. It's fantastic. I finished this Clam and L3 Waxy Wonders Lawnmower Man. This one is blackberry grass and cotton candy. It's a very interesting combination, but I definitely primarily just got the blackberry. I didn't really get much grass, and I've definitely found with some of her blends that I don't really get like a cohesive scent sometimes. Like, I'll just get one note. Like if it's blackberry, grass, and cotton candy, I'm just really getting the blackberry. I'm not really getting the other note. The scent was just okay for me. The strength and throw was about a 3.5 for 2 cubes in my 20 watt hot plate warmer, and then I tried 1 cube in my 20 watt hot plate warmer, and I only got about a 1 strength and throw. So I was trying to see, like, sometimes 2 cubes is kind of drowns out the bowl and you just need less wax, but neither one of them really worked. It just wasn't very strong. I have had this one for about 9 months now, so it really shouldn't be too old or anything, but not impressed with this one. Wouldn't repurchase it. I finished the Super Tarts Clam and Huron. This is lemon curd and seaside. I kind of like this one, but then there was also something about it that I didn't really care for. So it was kind of one of those odd ones that, like, I would get whiffs and I was like, oh, I like this. And then I would get another whiff and I'm like, oh, I'm not so sure about this one. It was just sort of okay. I think maybe it was the seaside that was throwing me off because I know I like lemon. I don't know, it was just odd. Because of that, I wouldn't repurchase it. But as far as performance, the strength and throw was about a 7.5, 8 for 1 cube in my bulb or 20 watt hot plate warmer. The good thing about Super Tarts is I can actually put them in a bulb warmer and they still perform. Where a lot of my other vendor wax, like a bulb warmer, just doesn't get hot enough to really release the fragrance. That is one thing I love about Super Tarts. And this one lasted for a really long time. It lasted about 8 hours. Probably would have even gone longer than that. It's a great performer, but I just didn't prefer the scent. Speaking of a great performer, I finished Zeep's Berry Bazooka. This one is strawberry and bubblegum. I'm not the hugest fan of bubblegum scents. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, that sounds nice, and I'll melt it, but it's not something I want to melt often or a lot. It's just not my favorite scent. This one, however, I definitely could tolerate. It smelled like that pink, chewy bubblegum. You get like the powdered sugar, and I think the strawberry in this kind of maybe toned down that bubblegum enough that made it tolerable for me. This one, like I said, is extremely strong. The strength and throw is about an 8, 8.5 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. It was really strong, and this is a year old at this point. This was actually her softer wax, and I didn't have any performance issues with it at all. If you like bubblegum scents, and if I were inclined to buy another bubblegum scent, then this one would be one I would repurchase. I mean, I don't see that for my near future, but maybe one day. I finished a rose shape and vintage chic scents, Just Singing in the Rain. This one is Freshwater, Falling Rain, Shimmering Blue Lagoons. This is a very fresh aquatic scent, but luckily it's not a masculine fresh aquatic scent. It's just sort of a pure, fresh, and aquatic scent, which is what I really like. The strength and throw of this one is about a 5.5 for 1/4 of the rose shape in my 20 watt hot plate warmer. Considering this one is over a year old, I would have hoped that it would have been stronger. People say that you're supposed to cure Vintage Chic scents for like a really long time. I've just found in my experience that I get the best performance from Vintage Chic scents about 3 to 6 months. If I let them go this long, their performance isn't as good. Overall, I really like this scent and I would repurchase it. I finished a scent shot in Destination Wax Salty Sea Air. Love this scent. It is just a great scent by itself if you like that very fresh, salty sea air kind of scent. But it's also a fantastic blender scent. I blended it with lavender and marshmallow. I blended it with pralines and popcorn. It's just going to be blended with so many different things. This one's also very, very strong. A fourth of the scent shot cup, not even a half, but a fourth is like a 9 strength and throw in my 24 hot plate warmer. And then if I wanted to have a little less strong, about a fourth in my 20-watt hot plate warmer is about an 8 strength and throw. So just really, really strong. I have already repurchased this. I will continue to. I finished a 4-pack in Destination Wax Tomato Leaf. This one is so authentic. Fresh tomato leaves and the stems. Very similar to the Bath & Body Works Tomato Vine Candle, but it's less astringent than that scent. So if you've ever planted your own tomatoes and you've ever put your hands on the actual stem, like you'll get this sort of residue from the stem on your hands, and that's exactly what this smells like. That really authentic, distinct tomato leaf scent. I just love it so much. The strength and throw of this one was about a 5.5, 6 for 1 cube in my 24-watt hot plate warmer. I definitely would repurchase this one. It is wonderful, especially for this time of year. I finished a 4-pack in Destination Wax Grass Stain. This one is your fresh cut grass. I've always detected like a subtle sweetness from grass type scents, which I really like. It's a single note scent, but it's perfect. It also had a great performance. The strength and throw is about a 7 for 1 cube in my 24-watt hot plate warmer and lasted well over 8 hours. This is another one that I like to do by itself. You also can mix it with other things, and it's just wonderful. I finished this little sample in Destination Wax Mountain Meadow Breeze. This one was green clove, spring flowers, fresh mountain air, a very green and fresh scent, but also a good bit of floral. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought at first that it was maybe going to be too much of a floral note, but actually when it was melting, it was great. It was about a 6.5 for 1 mini cake in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I finished a Clam and Super Tarts Sheldon. This one is spearmint and rosemary mint. This one was a repurchase for me. I've melted this in the past. I would say it's about 40% spearmint and 60% rosemary mint. It's just a really nice combination. It's very sinus opening. I enjoy this one. The strength and throw is about a 6 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. I really like Brandy's spearmint, so when I get in the mood again for this type of scent, I would repurchase it. I finished a wax melt in Kringle's Basil. Look at that label. I love it. It's just so perfect. This one is very earthy and fresh. It's sort of green, which you would think, like, wait, wouldn't it be like a green scent? But not really. Like, I would categorize it more as an earthy, fresh scent. There's a nice depth to it that you don't normally get in like a true green scent. It was really nice though. The strength and throw was about a 5 for half of the melt in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and it lasted about 6 hours. I did check the website just to see if this one was even still available, and I don't think it is, unfortunately. But if it ever did become available again, I would get it again in the wax melt. I did finish the 2 testers of Destination Wax Raspberry Peach Cotton Candy and Raspberry Peach Shortbread. In the Raspberry Peach Cotton Candy, I got mostly her peach preserved, which is like the syrupy peaches and vanilla, with just a hint of the raspberry and just like a dash of the cotton candy. The strength is about a 5.5. The throw is about a 4.5. It lasted 10 plus hours, 20 watts for 1 of the mini cakes. And then the shortbread scent was mostly the peach preserves, but I got a lot more of that bakery note that did come through. This one was not very strong though. The strength and throw was only like a 3.5, and it didn't last as long either. It lasted about 6 hours. I believe that one of these is already passed test and is available to purchase. I can't recall which one. Just know that there's a lot of peach in both of these, and so if you like peach, then definitely recommend it. But this isn't a dupe for Bath & Body Works Raspberry Peach Macaron. I finished a wax melt in Kringle's Fresh Air. This one is a breezy, fresh air scent. Just perfectly fresh, not masculine. Really like this one. Unfortunately, this one was really light. It was about a 3 strength and throw for half of the melt in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I really couldn't smell it. And then I kind of bumped it up to my 24-watt hot plate warmer, and I just didn't get a great performance from this one. So this is probably about a year old at this point, so it may just be that I've waited too long to melt it, but the scent's nice, it just wasn't very strong. I finished Destination Wax Arctic Seacoast. This one smells like a masculine soap. I think it smells like Zest, like it's a green bar soap, and they have that Zestfully Clean is like the tagline or something. It's very clean and fresh, somewhat oceanic, ozone notes, but really I just get more of this soapy, fresh soap kind of vibe to it. It's also extremely strong, like a 9.5 strength and throw for a fourth of a scent shot in my bulb warmer. I didn't really enjoy this one. Like, I tolerated it, but I didn't really enjoy it. It's just not my kind of scent. But if those are your kind of scents and you like a zest, or you like soapy type scents, I know a lot of people do, then you'd love this one. It was really strong, but this one just isn't for me. I finished my little kitty pea loaf in strawberry seeds. This is a scent that I've mentioned several times. I absolutely love it. Sweet, juicy, realistic strawberries, just like you slice strawberries and you put sugar on them, and they're just very juicy. It's wonderful. Strength and throw was about a 6.5 in my 24 hot plate warmer for, like, you know, a decent sized little chunk. This one is great on its own, or it's also a great blender scent. I finished this little duck in Hayden Road's Rocket Pop. It is a fizzy cherry slushy type scent. The strength and throw was about a 6 for one duck in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and I really enjoyed it. I finished a clam in Barrett Wax Crafts Rosemary and Mint. Earthy, minty, refreshing scent. I really like rosemary mint, and his is a nice one. Its strength and throw was about a 7.5 for 1 cube in my bulb warmer. Just to mention that Barrett Wax Crafts is another vendor like Super Tarts that I can always put in a bulb warmer and still have really nice performance, and I don't get that from some of the other vendors, but for his wax I really can put it in a bulb warmer and I can still really smell it. I always appreciate that about his wax. I would repurchase this scent from him. I finished this Goose Creek wax melt in Lavender de France, or de France. This one is a really nice herbal lavender. I really, really like it. It does kind of smell like you're walking through that lavender field, just like the picture. The strength and throw is about a 6.5, 7 for 2 cubes in my 20-watt hot plate warmer. I also melted this in my bulb warmer, and I got about a 6 strength and throw. So typically I can get a pretty decent performance from Goose Creek in my bulb warmers as well. The 20-watt gives me the best performance, but really, really like their lavender. It's just a very authentic lavender. One of my favorites. So if you like lavender scents, then I recommend this one. I finished this Vintage Chic Scents on the waterfront. This is Shaving Cream and Salty Sea Air. This was the 2-pack tiles. Really, really enjoyed this scent. I've said it for a while now that I'm not a huge fan of shaving cream scents, but this really worked for me. You got a nice blend of both the Salty Sea Air and the shaving cream. They're both very strong scents, but I didn't just get like one or the other. I did get both, but it just combined really nicely. It didn't come across as masculine either, which was great because I love non-masculine fresh scents, and this one definitely fit the bill. The strength and throw was about a 6.5, 7 for half of the tile, or a little less than half of the tile, in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and it lasted about 8 hours. I really enjoyed this one, and I would repurchase this one. It's really nice. I finished this Rosy Bar in Vintage Chic Scents Aunt Cheryl's Stormy Weather. This one is Ocean Rain and Fresh Rain. It's a very aquatic, fresh scent. Really, really nice. Again, non-masculine, which I love. It doesn't remind me of a cologne or anything. It's just aquatic and fresh. It was perfect for the end of May. Really enjoyed it. Strength and throw is about a 7.5 in my 20-watt hot plate warmer, and lasted over 8 hours. And thank you to my friend Dana at Wax and Love for recommending this scent. I really liked it. I finished, or I should say, I tried to finish this Colonial Candles Fresh Aloe. This was just a complete dud. I would not repurchase Colonial Candle wax melts at this point. I just had too many duds, and the only one that's actually worked for me is the Clementine Cupcake. That one does well, but all these other ones that I've tried, I just haven't got anything from it. So yeah, dud. And that was it. That was all of the wax melts. If you're only here for the wax melts, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you melted this month, and we'll move right along to the candles. Alrighty, moving right along into the candles. I finished a box of Goose Creek tea lights and Old Time Lemonade. These are just okay. They're not my favorite tea lights, but I got them for a really good special. They did burn appropriately, but I just didn't get any kind of scent from it. And not actual candles, but I did finish 2 bottles of essential oil, one in eucalyptus and one in peppermint. The first candle I finished this month is Bath & Body Works Watermelon Lemonade. Apologies for the glare. This one is watermelon ice, sparkling water, and Meyer lemon. Sweet candy watermelon and lemonade. I would call it this sort of a classic scent. It's been around for a long time. It's very popular. The strength and throw of this one was about 6.5, which I think is weaker than past years. Like, I just remember this scent being stronger in past years compared to this one. The burn was okay. It was somewhat sooty. You can kind of see there a little bit, and the wax discolored a little bit. Unfortunately, toward the end, about the 2/3 mark, the wax did start getting gross and icky, and the last 2 burns, the scent wasn't really there. It did burn itself out, like there was a little bit of scent there, but it just kind of got gross. I do like this scent. I will continue to repurchase this, but now that I can find this scent in vendor wax, I don't know if I will continue to purchase it as often as I have in the past, because normally I like to burn a couple of these every year. I finished this Homeworx for Harry Slatkin Farmstand Cherry. Yummy looking cherries. This one is luscious wild cherries, ripe raspberries, and strawberries, plum, and vanilla cream. This one I loved, absolutely loved, and loved enough that I did repurchase it. This smelled like a dark, rich strawberry cherry milkshake. I mainly really got sort of this strawberry milkshake vibe. It was sweet and creamy, a little bit of tartness. It came across more as like a blended red fruit. I just got what I interpreted as a lot of strawberry, but I absolutely loved it. Definitely not your typical cherry scent. It is fantastic. And if it didn't have cherry in the title, I don't know that I would even call this a cherry scent, but it's wonderful. If you like a strawberry milkshake, maybe even a berry smoothie, it's really, really yummy. The strength and throw on this one was about a 5.5, 6, so pretty nice. And as always with Homeworx, the burn was fantastic. Very, very clean. Really not very much soot at all. Like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of soot, but not much really. I mean, not even enough to really count. The wicks did not move. I love the wick clips that he uses. They do not move at all, and you can see it burned all the way down, and the wicks did not budge, which I love. Really enjoyed this one, and like I said, I did already repurchase it because it's fantastic. I finished this Bath & Body Works Beach Sage and Mint. This one is Vibrant Mint Sprigs, Coastal Sage, and Crisp Bergamot. Fresh, somewhat oceanic, minty, but not masculine. So sort of a minty, fresh scent, which is just wonderful. I wish this would have been released more broadly last year, and I hope they bring it back because this is my last one, but it's really great. The strength and throw is about an 8.5, 9, so that's that strong strength and throw that you really love and expect from Bath & Body Works candles. The burn was also really good. No puny wicks. It was a bit sooty. You can see the black there, especially on that side. This was a fast burner, so anytime you have those fast burning candles, they do tend to sit a bit more. But definitely on this one, keep your wicks trimmed and keep an eye on it. It doesn't need to burn any longer than 3 hours. It's really, really good though. I really enjoyed this one, and I really hope they bring it back. I finished this Yankee Candle Lavender Sunset. Just take a moment to look at that beautiful full label. That beautiful lavender feel with the sunset is just lovely. I wish I could jump into that label. It's just so beautiful. I love this scent. It's lavender, vanilla. You get a nice depth from the woody notes. I would say in comparison to lavender vanilla, it's like heavier than lavender vanilla. You definitely get this very herbal lavender. And the vanilla in this is slightly kind of a body care-esque kind of vanilla. It's not like an edible vanilla or a bakery vanilla. It's definitely more kind of body care-esque. You do get a bit of musk and the cedar, which both of those kind of add this depth and a little bit of heaviness to it. It definitely comes across as a nighttime scent. Not heavy as in like a heavy winter scent, but just something heavier as far as like nighttime. It really does kind of make you think that you're in a lavender field at sunset. It just does really transport you to that. That's why I love this scent. It's definitely a perfect nighttime lavender scent. Great for me for bedtime, for bath time, which is when I burn this one. It's just fantastic. And the really good thing about this one is that I could actually smell it. The strength and throw was about a 6. As far as the burn, it was really a slow burning candle. Like I didn't even trim the wicks, and it was just very, very slow. You can see there's quite a bit of residue all the way down, which is very unlike Yankee candles. Like typically they're very clean burning candles. This one had quite a bit of residue. It just really took a long, long time to pull out, even longer than normal, and I did have an aluminum lid on it. And the wax pulls were just really shallow. Like it really didn't get any nice deep wax pull. Second to last burn didn't quite pull out all the way, and then I thought, well, there's a good bit of wax left in there, so I thought that I would be able to get one more burn, and you can see it just tunneled itself right down to the wick. So it was odd because I don't normally have performance issue with Yankees, but with this one it kind of was. But nonetheless, I still really enjoyed it. I love the scent. I would repurchase it. I really wish they would bring this scent out in like an easy melt cup. Gosh, I would love that. If you like lavender scents, especially if you like a bedtime kind of lavender scent, I really do recommend this one. The next candle I finished is Bath & Body Works Pineapple Crumb Cake. This one is golden pineapple, buttery cake, and sugar streusel crumb topping. This one had a lot of hype on social media. People were saying that it had sold out in their store. So good. They were hauling like 10 and 20 candles. I mean, some people just do that anyway, and that's fine. It's up to them. Everybody spends their money the way they want to spend their money. But for me, this one didn't quite live up to that hype. The scent itself was a lot of the streusel type topping and the cake. The pineapple was actually not a dominant note. It was definitely in the background. I got a lot of the streusel, the cake, more of the bakery notes in the pineapple. It was a nice scent, and I think if you're someone who likes bakery scents, since we don't really get a lot of those in candles, especially Bath & Body Works, like they don't bring out a ton of bakery scents compared to a lot of their other type scents, like their pineapple and coconut. They give us oodles and oodles of those scents, but you don't really get bakery scents. So I think if you're someone who likes bakery and you don't do any kind of vendor wax and you just do candles, like I can see where people would be excited about it. But I guess for me, it's okay. The scent's nice, but I'm like, oh, it didn't live up to the hype. As far as the performance, the strength and throw was about a 5, 5.5. And that was the other thing. It's like it wasn't even that strong. Like I was like, this is gonna like knock me out of the house, or it's gonna be a nice medium high throw, and it was just like right at medium. So, you know, not really even a great strength and throw, especially for a Bath & Body Works candle. Like you really expect their candles to at least be like a 7.5, 8. And this one didn't even fill the space that I had it in. I had to move it into a smaller room. And then the burn, I had puny wicks from the start of this candle. Like from the very first burn, I had puny wick syndrome. It was very, very, very slow to pull out. Like normally I'll keep the Bath & Body Works candles burning for like 3 to 4 hours max. This one, I couldn't even get a full pull until about 6.5 hours. So it just took forever to pull out, which I think that definitely affected the throw for sure. I didn't actually have to cotton ball it, but just be prepared if you buy the scent to wait several hours for a full wax pull. Now maybe I kind of had a dud. This is my batch number 7340K3A2. So let me know in the comments below if you burned this one and you had success, or if you had the same issues that I had. To me, with the scent just being kind of nice, it's not really worth the burn issues for me, and this one is overhyped in my opinion. I think that especially if you do melt vendor wax, you can definitely find a better scent than this in vendor wax. I do have one more of these because I had picked up 2 when, again, all the hype, but I wouldn't repurchase it, and I may even take that other one back. The next candle I finished is this Homeworx by Harry Slatkin Sea Breeze. Let's take a moment to look at this beautiful label. I actually purchased this candle as is, and the only thing that was wrong with it was this chip right here in the glass, which obviously did not affect the burn. So the as is, I had good luck with that, thank goodness, and I don't mind that little chip, especially I got this at a really good price. The notes on this one are tropical jasmine, Italian bergamot, lemon zest, crisp watery greens, and wild orchid. I really, really enjoyed this scent a lot. Basically, imagine that you're on a tropical island and you walk out of your beach hut. It does specifically need to be a beach hut. As you walk out, you can smell the white jasmine flowers and the bergamot orange tree in the air. And that scent kind of mingles with the salty breeze of the ocean, which of course you can see the ocean from your hut. Like you're there with me, I hope. The candle basically sort of just transported me to a beach vacation. Like really, this is the view that I thought of when I smelled this candle. It was a wonderful. Described more simply, it comes across as a fresh, floral, slightly green scent. Definitely more fresh than floral though. I did pick up a good bit of what I was interpreting as like a white floral, mixed with that salty sea air vibe. There were hints of like that bitter citrus from the bergamot and a bit of the greenness. It is not masculine, it wasn't soapy, and it's not like an ozone scent. I think when you think sea breeze, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be an ozone type scent. It definitely is not that. And the throw was fantastic. 7.5, 8 out of 10. The burn was wonderful, problem free. Like the tiniest bit of sooting, I mean, not really anything to be overly concerned about. The wicks didn't move. It was just a clean burn. I didn't even have an issue. Like some people complain that these take a while to pull out. I thought it was fine. I mean, this isn't a candle that you're just going to burn for an hour and then blow out. Like you need to burn this on a day that you have more time. But still, the pulling out issue is not an issue for me. I think they're just great. I love the performance on these candles. Throw in this perfect, beautiful label that when you burned it, you actually could like see the wax pull, and it kind of looked like the sun was setting in the background. It was beautiful. I mean, what more could you ask for from a candle than this? It was like everything that you could ask for. I highly, highly recommend it. It comes paired with the pineapple colada scent. If you like these types of scents, I think you'd really love this one. And like I said, really recommend both of these Homeworx candles. They were fantastic. I also finished this Bath & Body Works Lavender Coconut. This is last year's version. This is Refreshing Lavender, Warm Coconut, and Vanilla Bean. This is lavender and coconut. I've read or seen that some people say that you don't really get any coconut. That's definitely not true. You absolutely get the coconut and you absolutely get the lavender. They are both very present in this scent. In fact, I would even say there's a bit more coconut than lavender, especially when it's burning. But it's really nice. It's a very perfect like summer lavender scent. Like this is definitely one that I still burn like bedtime and bath time, but I also like to burn this one just like in the middle of the day because the coconut does give it this like tropical vibe. Really interesting. It's not lavender and coconut to me aren't something I instinctively think to put together, so really like this one. Strength and throw was about a 6.5, 7. The burn was actually really good on this one. Somewhat sooty. This is another kind of faster burner. You can see the soot there, so keep an eye on this one. This one did not get gross or yucky at the end of it like a lot of their lavender scents. Like that very last fourth to a third of the burn, they'll get kind of gross and yucky and they'll kind of smell like plastic. This one didn't do that, so that was good news. Really like this one. They do have this one out now as Lavender Sea, and it's got really pretty packaging, so if you didn't pick one up last year, you can still get this scent. And the last candle I finished this month is Island Margarita. This one is Sweet Mandarin, Island Mango, and Sea Salt. Juicy, fruity, summer drink, kind of mango margarita is really what this smells like. It doesn't smell like a lime, salty margarita. It's more of a fruity cocktail. Strength and throw on this bad boy is a 9. It's always a really great performer. This one also had a great burn. It doesn't look like it had a great burn. It looks pretty disgusting, like a lot of residue, but it was fine. Had no puny wicks, no issues. It is a bit of a faster burner, so I did trim my wicks on this one. Kept my eye on this one. Let it only burn about 3 hours, but it was great. It pulled out quickly. Nice deep wax pulls, just wonderful. I will always continue to repurchase this scent as well. I like to burn at least one of these every year. It's just such a nice fruity scent. Okie dokie, that is it. That is all. This is a mess right now, but that is all of the wax and candles that I finished in May. It was really a great month for me overall. Really happy with everything. I would say standout favorite as far as candles were the Sea Breeze, the Farmstand Cherry, the Beach Sage and Mint, and there were just too many good wax melts to say favorites at this point. Let me know in the comments below what you melted and burned in May. I always love to hear from you, especially if you have any favorites. Have you burned or melted any of the scents that I've talked about? What was your experience? Did you like them? Did you agree with me or not? I always like to hear what your opinions are. If you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see other videos like this, please subscribe. I do a monthly empties video as well as hauls, vendor wax, candles, etc. I do have my semi-annual sale hauls coming up, Yankee, Bath & Body Works, so be looking out for those. Thank you so much for all of your support as always. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.